Contrary to popular belief, Swedish meatballs are not from Sweden, but rather from Turkey and was brought back by King Charles, and today we attempt to make the famous recipe.
We just finished a 30-day fast with no caffeine, and boy, I'm telling you, this shit took a toll, but it was very good. It was very enlightening, refreshing. I feel much better, but I'm back on my caffeine, so back on the bullshit. Welcome back to another Unruly video. If you're new, welcome. Hit the subscribe button, hit the bell so you know when we post. If you're a returner, what's poppin'? Today we're making Swedish meatballs. We don't have all the ingredients, so we're gonna improvise. The things that we're missing aren't too essential, but nonetheless threw me for a loop because I didn't have what I wanted. 1 pound of Italian sausage here. Throw that inside the bowl. You can have even parts of each, but we're a bit off. We have 1 pound of Italian sausage there, sweet. If you do spicy, you can do spicy. There's nothing wrong with that. Spicy Italian sauce is not that spicy, so you're gonna have to put hotness and red pepper flakes and whatever you desire in it to make it hot. So any sort of Italian sausage will work. We have some ground beef, 96% lean, a bit healthier than your normal beef, simply because the 96% lean just means that there's 96% muscle and 4% fat. You wanna aim for higher leanness in your meat so that there's less oil in your pot, so that there's less things clogging your arteries. But if not, you could always go for 80%. The reason why you wanna have that ratio is because there's not too much fat in the beef, so the oil from the sausage will mix well with the 96% beef and not be too oily. We have diced shallots here. We have diced onions here. You can make them small, make them preferably somewhat small because they have to fit into the meatball. So you don't want to rough chop these like I like, but it's okay. So we're gonna add these in. First comes the shallots, now the onions. That was 1 shallot and 1 onion, just depending on how much meat you have. We have 3 pounds of meat here. I think 1 and 1 in terms of the shallot and onion ratio is perfect for 3 pounds of meat. We have ground black pepper and allspice here. Throw that in. About half of what we grounded up because we're gonna use the rest for the actual sauce for the meatballs. What? You know what to say. Badia is the salty one. So if you don't have Lori's and you have to get the Badia, know this shit is salty and watch your sodium. I ain't gonna lie to you, my big toe been hurting lately, so might have to go see the doc. So lightly sprinkle some of that on. Garlic powder. Again, not too much. This has sodium in it. Onion powder. Not too much of this either. Yo, because it doesn't matter who, I don't care who told you, onion powder and garlic powder have sodium. So watch it. The good up Maggie seasoning. This is not onion powder. Maggie seasoning, the good one. Maggie chicken bouillon, not fucking Maggie. Maggie is shit. Wait, is that Maggie? It is Maggie. Bumbucklad. Anyways, this is the one straight off the boat from the Highlands. So we're gonna put enough in there. Get out some good seasoning. Maybe a little more. Let's see. Red pepper flakes. We like things hot. Get a nice cap full of this in here. More down there. That completes our dry seasoning. We're gonna go for our wet seasonings now. QP. If you don't know what QP is, the best fucking mayonnaise on this planet. This is Japanese mayo. I'd say 2 to 3 tablespoons of that in there. I know y'all got tired of me using the fucking paprika. That's why we don't have regular paprika. We have smoked paprika today, baby. Add about I wanna say tablespoon, no, teaspoon. We'll have our Parmesan cheese. You can add a decent amount. At this rate, what I would have done is put an egg in there. We don't have an egg, so we're gonna use some breadcrumbs to go along with the Parmesan cheese. Breadcrumbs, panko to go with the Parmesan cheese. That'll sop up the oil and all the moisture within the meatball, make it a little more juicy when you bake them. So, bit of panko crumbs there. A splash of some soy sauce, just a splash. And we're gonna try something new. I saw this, loved it. Some fig flavored balsamic vinegar, splash of that. We'll put a little more inside of the sauce when we're making it. Honey mustard. I know this is bullshit honey mustard, but if you got Dijon, Dijon's the goal. You want Dijon. Wish I had Dijon. Gotta go pick that up. We can go to the grocery store, people. Like, you know, like schedules and all that good shit. I'm lying, I went to the grocery store today, but I forgot the shit I needed. So, heavy whipping cream, again, whole milk is perfectly fine. You don't have to use heavy whipping cream. Dash shit out. Nothing more. Little more. Time. About a tablespoon. What we'll do now is we're gonna mix with our hands. I'm feeling like using my hands today, so that's what we're gonna do. I'm gonna use this spoon like you saw me use in the curry chicken video, but I feel like using my hands today. So just get all of the things together, incorporate them until each maybe side of your mixture looks blended together. It's looking pretty solid here. Just want the onions to get in every piece. You don't want half the meatballs with onions and the other half with no onions. Mix thoroughly. So now we're gonna form them. All my spoons are dirty. I didn't feel like cleaning another one. So take a healthy scoop out of here. And that's a little bit too much. We got a nice ball here, and all you wanna do is just form it. Don't worry about it being too pretty unless you're feeding someone else. If it's just you, it doesn't need to be all that pretty. See, that's a decent size. It's pretty big. Don't get me wrong. I'm a guy that likes heavier meatballs, like them little ass bite-sized meatballs. Fuck that's doing for me. I ain't gonna do shit for me. I gotta eat 20 meatballs to be full? Nah, I'm not with that. It's just not. Imagine with this size, I can eat 5 and be full and go to bed or go do what I gotta do. But them little tiny shits, yeah, they may cook faster, but they're smaller. Who likes smaller? I don't. Once these are all formed, they're gonna go in the freezer for about 20 minutes. Really, they should go in there for about 30 minutes to an hour. 30 minutes to 45 minutes, but get them more firm than what they are. Bumbaclaw, them big fucking. Nah, man. This is too big. Damn, these, yo. Them shits is big. Wow. Them is big. We put the meatballs in the freezer to, you know, get firm. And now we have 2 potatoes. So we have a sweet potato and we have an Idaho regular potato. I'm a pasta guy, but we made that last week. So we're gonna make the potatoes this time, and I think you'll like this potato recipe. So, or this mashed potato recipe. So we've cleaned these potatoes already. Now we're just going to peel these potatoes. Take my lovely knife and cut pieces like that. Cut them in the thirds. And relatively cut those thirds into smaller pieces so that you can have mashed potatoes or potatoes that cook evenly in your pot. Sweet potatoes are way tougher. All I do is I stick it in and break because it gets pretty tough. Quick disclaimer, if you don't want to cut yourself, go on a cutting board, but I'm a rude boy, so. Blood, like that, is it. And now they're good to go. Let's look upon that there. You see that? That is what you call perfection right there. Cut up all the potatoes quick like flash. I'm there. All right, so we have our potatoes evenly cut. And now what you want to do is season your potato water with some salt. And we just put some salt in there, we'll season them after. I have some interesting salt here, some violet salt. Don't ask me where I got this from. It was a special package delivered to me. So get some of that violet salt in there. Give a generous amount. Yeah, it's good. Good amount there. If you want to know where to get that violet salt, comment down below. I may share where I got it from. So Now that that's pretty much on a rolling boil, take your potatoes and drop them in. Try not to have the water splash on you. Chicharis. Shit. Boy. Liencha. Okay. All right. Look at that. Nice and simple. Now let's hope that doesn't overflow, which it probably will, but it's whatever. We shall continue the process of doing what we do best, improvising. Let that boil up, and we'll come back to that. We'll check it in a bit. But while that's boiling, what we're gonna do is make a roux. And if you don't know what roux is basically just butter and flour. You can season it how you please, but that's gonna be the base to our Swedish sauce to make it Swedish meatballs. Use about, if this is half a stick of butter, we're probably gonna use 1, 2, 3 tablespoons. No one said it wasn't gonna be fatty. So if you're looking to lose 20 pounds, then watch how much of this sauce you consume. But if you're looking to gain weight, and put it in your thighs and your bati, ladies. And for gentlemen, whatever your goal is, just make sure that you eat proportionate. Like, there's a lot of fat in here. Call it a comfort meal. So first, we want to melt this down. We're going to use just about 3 tablespoons. If you don't believe me, that's 3 tablespoons. Don't ask no more questions. I'll send you an unruly shirt. You can spot the difference here. So we want to turn the heat down once all the butter has melted. And where's our flour? Grab you about half a cup of flour and just put that in. And what you're looking for is to get clumps of buttered flour. And if you don't have enough flour, put some more in. A roux is just used to thicken things and to usually make gravy. So now that most of the butter's pretty much gone, let that turn into a nice golden color. And what you'll do is you'll add your heavy cream inside of your buttered flour. What you want to do is throw in about a cup of vegetable stock, which I think is just about the rest of this. Cup of beef broth. Grab your heavy cream. Throw about a half a cup of that in there, and we'll stir until we get a nice consistency. You just want to break the clumps of flour that you may see in here. And once you see a thickness start to come and all the clumps of flour are broken up, you can start to add the rest of your flavoring or your seasoning to your roux mixture, gravy mixture. Just make sure all the clumps are out because they tend to sneak them way into the pot, you know? That's pretty thick. And all that's gonna do is coat the meatballs. We have some Munster cheese grated and some sharp cheddar cheese grated. Add a healthy amount of that in there. It's a little cheesy, you know? Add what you like. As promised, fig balsamic vinaigrette or vinegar. Dash of that in there. Tell you, I might disclose where I got this shit from, but maybe not. Nice little coating of that. Grab some garlic. Look at that, almost done. You see how much garlic we use in here? And if it starts to get too thick, just add more liquid. It's okay, you saw how big the meatballs were. You got room to spare. Yeah, so what we'll do is we'll add a little bit more of the beef broth because it is a bit thick and cheesy. Just add a bit of that, more of that in there. We'll grab some soy sauce. 1 teaspoon, 2 teaspoons. Our infamous Japanese mayo. Nice amount of there. The leftover black pepper and allspice goes in. mix that in. All right. Is that pretty much the consistency that I need? Yep. And one last thing. Bumba. Our smoked paprika. Get a little color in there, along with that smoked flavor. Check on your potatoes and make sure everything is copacetic. They feel pretty nice to me. They feel done, but you know what we're gonna do instead? Let them cook out a little bit more, start these meatballs that we have inside of the freezer. So we'll take our pot. To your pan, you wanna add some oil. It's a good amount there. Don't beat this up there. Our firm meatballs, yo, when I tell you these shits are gigantic, look at that. Yeah, fuck. These shits is big as hell. In the meantime, we're gonna turn on our oven to 400. Our pan's hot, our oil's hot. So let's put these meatballs in. Nice. And let me cover this. They're going to come out fabulous. When you make them a little bigger, put them in the oven, let them bake together and get all the juices to mix and mingle. And they come out and they're succulent and they're over some nice mashed potatoes. This recipe I'm about to show you. Doesn't talk. This is how I get my meatballs to form. So, you see that? Look at that. You see them? And you see all that, the grease from the sausage. It's just lovely. It's lovely. Nice brown crustification. So as you can see, just because they're big don't mean they're not gonna cook nice. Get a nice brown coloring on both sides. You don't wanna cook them all the way through because that's what you're gonna put them in the oven to do. They're gonna cook nice and slow. We're gonna cover them. Moisture doesn't get out. Goes right back into the meatball. All the juices mix and mingle like I said before. Panko breadcrumbs keep the juices inside of the meatball and that nice crustification on the outside. Make the meatball them succulent and nice so the juice not run out. You don't need to flip them, you don't need to work too hard to try to get them to be perfect spheres. When you twirl them with the lid on, perfect meatballs every time. So look, after that twirling, that's what they look like. Perfect. They don't get no better than that. Does not get any better. So you can see they're starting, some of them are breaking from the twirling that we did. And that's because we didn't add the egg. Like I told you in the beginning, there was ingredients that were missing. And the egg is what I wanted, but it's okay. It'll still be delicious and they'll probably still keep their form, but they're a little bigger than your typical meatball. Yeah, yo, we're outside. Look at them. I don't even know how to explain that. That's just goodness right there. And all of y'all probably were like, oh, he makes them too big. Your mouth shut. Okay, so now you want to drain out your potatoes. Take your potatoes and put them inside your mixer bowl. If you don't have a mixer, that's perfectly fine. 2 hour potato mixture. You're gonna add some heavy cream. Let's say half a cup. That's about half a cup there. Add the rest of our cheese, so you can use the cheese if you're liking. Again, this is sharp cheddar. Like I always say, you wanna use real cheese and know it's real cheese by grating it yourself. And it's not that expensive, it just takes a little bit more work. So do yourself a favor and get some cheese that you have to grate so that you know it's real. Remember that black pepper and allspice? You have a little left over, throw the rest of that in. I can't get enough. Our velvet salt. Get a A little coating of that. 3 tablespoons of butter. My favorite part, and what you should always get accustomed to doing, taking some of the juices or the seasoning from one pot and adding them to the next pot. So the roux that we made, this is the Swedish sauce, so to say, we're gonna take a nice glob of that out, drop it right. As you can see, nice scoop there. Put that right in the middle. And all that does is just mix the flavors. You gotta get used to mixing the flavors so that everything kind of blends together. Like your meat blends with your rice, blends with your mashed potatoes, blends with whatever. All the things taste good. Now we got all of that in, we're gonna put in our whisk and then we'll put it on low. Fuck it, I can't wait. Gonna turn him all the way up. And so as that mix, grab some Parmesan cheese because we didn't add it in the beginning. So let's try it because I'm like, I don't know what to tell you guys. As long as you're following exactly what I tell you to do, you are going to have a great time in the kitchen, and whoever you're feeding is going to have a great time eating what you cook for them. So we're gonna take a nice little bite out of this. My mouth is salivating because I know it tastes damn good. I'm telling you, listen, Munster, extra sharp cheddar, and Parmesan, the deadliest combination on this fucking planet. You get the nice flavor of the sweet potato, but also the regular Idaho potato. And then you add the roux, like the flavoring from the Swedish sauce, that you can taste it. It's like a lingering flavor that comes in at the back end. So like, if any of the recipes we made, any of the recipes we made before, if you ain't make one, make this one. This is done. And again, if you don't have a stand mixer, use your hands, put in that work till you get a stand mixer. But I highly advise you get a stand mixer. Makes the thing so much easier and it's way smoother. You can get it as smooth as this with your hands, maybe, but it takes a lot of work. Do I know that all of you want to do that work? Probably not. So we're gonna test one of these. We'll go for the biggest one. I would assume this one, because if you go for the biggest one, you know that anything smaller than this is done. Oh, let's see. You see how that juice coming out? Look at that. Oh my day. I think it's done, but oh, nope. Which means it probably needs about 10 more minutes. And we should be all set. I don't care, I'm gonna put that shit right back in, and it's just a waiting game. It's really just a waiting game. You gotta have a little patience, but I don't have patience. So we're gonna dip him in here. I could cry, nigga. You don't understand. You really don't understand. Good food will bring you to your knees. The juicy, succulent meatballs dipped in that sauce right there that we made. Go into the summer with a chubby, with a nice little chub love handle sticking out. It don't matter. You don't need 6-pack abs, and shorty, you don't need flat belly. Let them know you eating good, because this shit right here, they look pretty much done to me. You see all the juices, you see all that greatness. We're going to cut open the largest one that's left. We're done. Oh yeah, we're done. Look at that. We're gonna take all the meatballs and we're gonna put them inside the pot. So here we go. Let's put them all in. And even the meatball juices. Look at that. Look at all of that. Like that's why you need the cover, the lid. And we're just gonna mix here. Get them fully coated. Yo, I'm telling you, try this for yourself, because this right here, I don't even think you watching this video is gonna do it justice to how good these are. Ground beef, ground pork, all of the sauces that we gave you earlier today, and some mashed potatoes. It'll be a very cheap meal, around $30 to make, really, depending on where you live. And it takes about an hour, just about. If you're not doing this production right here, it's gonna take you about an hour to do. If you don't want mashed potatoes, you can always substitute with pasta, because pasta, like, I'll put it on the screen. Pasta is what I usually would put with this, but I'm feeling very hearty. My stomach's empty. I'm ready to eat. So, you saw how simple it is. I've given you all the ingredients. They'll be in the description below. Let me know what you think. Let me know how yours came out. But it's time for me to eat this food because I'm starving and I really want it. I'm getting a little hangry. I don't know, you click the next video and you might stay a while and binge watch. So I'll see you on the next one. Fuck. Yeah, I'm gonna eat this thing now.